is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hey, guys. How are you guys doing? I have a long travel day ahead of me. That's why we're recording early, and that's why you're listening early. Uh, when you are hearing this, if you hear it first day, I will be on a train somewhere in the Midwest, so that's fun. Um, yeah, Stardom they started uploading Wakayama, but I don't think either of us watched that. So
No, we
yeah,
have other
the
plans. We have other plans.
yeah, the main thing was Starman Showcase, and it's not uploaded yet, and it looked really good. That's the fuck thing is this looked like one of the better showcase shows
Mm-hmm.
that they've done, and it wasn't live. It was the first. It was the first not live one. And I was like, this shit sucks.
What a weird company, huh?
Yeah,
Um,
I saw the cookie plates thing.
yeah, they're selling
That mess.
the cookie sheets with the roster's faces on them. I guess I don't really
I
fully
assume so.
remember. Um, But anyway, this podcast is brought to you by the Five Star Podcast Network. The
Yes.
Five Star Podcast Network, home to us, obviously Stardom Quest, home to the All Elite Cast, which is an All Elite Wrestling podcast hosted by Scott and the always fabulous Six Star. We also have Puro Gems, which is starting up. That's hosted by Peps Wrestling, and it takes a look at the indie scene in Japan once a month. We also have Dramatic Dream Dragons, which is a Dragon Gate and DDT show, so they kind of alternate kind of based on which one is doing more important stuff. So it's usually DDT because Dragon Gate will just go quiet for ages. And then there's also Watch Tej, one of the two competing at War TJPW podcasts, where all of the 20 hosts are friends, but they are pretending there's a war. It's very funny. So yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, it's a great time. Also, I don't know if you mentioned it. I kind of spaced out for a second. There's also Summit, which is something that we do for bigger shows. We do a collab with whoever wants to contribute from the crew of Five Star, uh, contributors, and we talk about big shows. I am supposed to be on the All Star Junior Festival show for Thursday. I'm not sure if I will be able to make it, but
mm,
I told Scott I would. So if I don't, he'll probably be mad at me.
yes.
Um, and then also there's obviously articles, which I am a primary contributor for. Me and Xavier have started a project to highlight some of the best Black wrestlers in wrestling history. Mine isn't coming out until after Black History Month because you shouldn't only celebrate Black wrestlers and Black people in Black History Month. It's kind of stupid. Uh, so mine will be coming out later this week. Check out his about Aja Kong. It just came out yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna plug that. That's fivestarnetwork.co is the
Mhm.
website. That's where all the podcasts get plugged there, and also that's where the articles go. There's a few cool articles, a few series, and obviously the this new one that was kicked off by Xavier yesterday, looking at Aja Kong and her case as one of the best wrestlers of all time and one of the best Black wrestlers of all time. And I got to contribute to that because Aja Kong is obviously, to me, the greatest wrestler to have ever lived. Um,
Mhm.
so definitely check that out. Kind of Xavier and I kind of go through a lot of obviously like the racial issues that she had to overcome in her career because there was a lot of that, but also just why she was so good. So yeah, check that out. Sadly, there is no Aja Kong on this podcast because her and Rossy Ogawa hate each other, but you have some news from the world of Stardom. Not a lot. Um, They've announced sporadic matches for shows throughout March, and some of the interesting stuff that I picked up on the 15th of March in Takamatsu, Himeka is wrestling Ruaka as part of her retirement road. The next day in Osaka, it's Giulia versus Himeka as part of Himeka's retirement road. Um, Mayu Iwatani's homecoming match. The main event of that is Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma against Natsuko Tora, Starlight Kid, and Saki Kashima, which is a very fitting main event there for Mayu's return home to Yamaguchi. They've also announced that on Miyu Amasaki's triumphal tournament in Kyoto, she will be wrestling Miyu Amasaki will be wrestling Nanai Takahashi in a passion injection match. And that show also has Giulia and Himeka versus Tam Nakano and Natsupoi in a Himeka retirement road match. And that's pretty much all the interesting stuff. They announced like the top two matches of every show, but the entire rest of the card is just like not there yet. But the interesting stuff is obviously Himeka's retirement road, Miyu Amasaki getting a passion injection and probably dying, and the Mayu homecoming match, which is it's kind of a fun one.
Whenever I hear passion injection, I just think of the lethal injection, like just the move. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. Those sound like good matches. Uh, I know Himeka is still hoping for a uh, OG Gold Gen match.
Hmm.
She tweeted about it, about how she wants to wrestle Ida, Kamatani, Utami, and Maika in some type of match. Because they've never actually all five been in the same match before, outside of maybe like a Rumble that they probably weren't around in the same, so that's one thing that she wants to do before she hangs it up. But it's looking like she's going to be mostly paired off against Natsupoi. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
so that's something.
Yeah, she's wrestling Meltier twice, is it? Because it's
Yes,
her and
yes.
her and Micah are wrestling them once, and then her and Julia on the other
And then
one. So
her and Natsupoi are having a singles as
yes,
well.
and she's obviously wrestling Tam in the Cinderella
Yes,
first round. So yeah,
that's fun.
a lot of vengeance for Himeka. Um, that is the only real bit of news that we had. So because we're recording early and Stardom hasn't uploaded much, and Stardom and Showcase was not a pay-per-view, um, we decided to ask for some questions to do a Q&A. So I feel like the best thing to do is to just get that done, and then we can focus on the preview for the big pay-per-view.
Yeah, a lot of
All right.
questions. A lot of questions here. I
Yes.
sent
Yes.
I sent them over to you so that I don't have to read all of them. But you'll probably still make me read all of them
Very
anyway.
clever. No, I can read them, I guess. Let's see. All right. Will I just go straight away?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the first question is, what's the greatest tag team to never win the tag belts in Stardom history? I think I know your answer, but go ahead.
Well, there's two. I mean, and they're very easy, I guess. It's Team Moon, which is what you are obviously, I'm guessing, guessed from me. Uh, and then basically any tag team with Arisa Hoshiki, because like
Fair.
her and Tam didn't win them when I thought they should have, and her and Mayu never won them. I don't think.
No, yeah, Arisa
Yeah,
only
they
ever
didn't.
held one belt, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think those two teams, yeah, so the two main Arisa teams over the years are the ones, and then obviously, Kagetsu and Hazuki's my favorite tag team, like of all time. So those are my answers.
All right. Mine is actually Momoa's because they were like
That's true.
amazing and they should have been champions, but they weren't.
Honestly,
Um,
I think Momoa's and MK sisters. It's really
yes,
strange that they just feuded forever and just never had the belts.
yes, yeah. Like they were the backbones of the tag division for a while,
Yeah,
and then they just both got split up, which is not fun. I was gonna get cheeky with it because one time Miko Satomura and Kairi Hojo challenged for the tag belts. So I was like, they probably are the best team to never win. But obviously they only teamed once. And I mean, I guess you could say Risa Sera and Takumi Aroha because they were a tag team pretty regularly. But obviously that was both when they were both like very new to the wrestling, so they weren't
yeah.
the wrestlers they are now. But as a pairing,
Similarly,
that's a pretty incredible team to think about.
yes. Similarly, I would say like Hazuki and Momo. But
Mm,
again, they were younger
yeah,
when they were teaming together. So uh, that's kind of with the hindsight we have now. That is a team that I think would be like, like holy shit.
yeah.
But at the time when they were around, when they were tagging, it wasn't really. Like, why aren't they champions? Like, no, we get why you're not champions yet.
Definitely. Yeah, so Momoaz is like the proper
But
answer
Momoa's,
there. As
I definitely agree.
yeah.
Honestly, I think, and this, I'm an Azumi guy, obviously, but it's wild that Azumi hasn't won the tag belts yet because I feel like
Mm,
she's consistently really great in tag teams until like O2 line, and that's kind of obvious because she's trained. Like Miyu's still Miyu, so. But like if you think about like even back in the day, I remember her and Konami were killing it. Uh, her and obviously Momo are great, and then she teams with Utami or Saya, and it's always great. So it's kind of wild that she hasn't really done that yet.
yeah. Yeah, no, I figured you would have Momoaz as your answer. I'm not gonna lie to
Hmm.
you. So yeah, I was surprised with Team Moon. So but yeah. That's ours. Yours is Team Moon, mine is Momoaz. Um Now the next question is, will Stardom suffer when Rossi retires?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like listen, the thing with Rossi is he's been involved in wrestling since the late 70s, and he's also got a proven track record as a booker, like he booked AJW in the 90s, he booked Arjan when that was out of the gates, and that was really great as well.
Yeah.
Like no matter who they get to replace him, you're not gonna get 50 years of experience in wrestling and two proven, you know, successes under their belt either. So, you're gonna, you might get somebody who completely has a different mentality to wrestling. You might alienate large parts of the audience. Like you're gonna have to get used to a completely different flow. And you might just get somebody who's not good at it. Whereas, with
Yeah.
Rossi, he has so much experience and so much like experience as a booker behind him that he's pretty much irreplaceable at this stage.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Hakeem asked a question a little bit later on of who was the next booker after Rossi, and I think we can kind of put those together. Um, because I think it kind of just ties into the same kind of question. Because yeah, I mean, like Rossi, as much shit as everybody loves to give him, including me, like I'll always shit on Hiroshi because that's what I do. Um, but once he's gone, it's gonna be fucked. I'm gonna be real. Like there are very few people who could take over and make it relatively seamless, right? Like
Hmm.
it's the inverse problem of the Vince McMahon thing, right? Where it's like literally most people could have done a better job by the
Yeah.
time he was hanging it up. It's like Rossi, yeah, I don't like everything he books. I don't like all of his mentalities, all of his philosophies when it comes to wrestling, but there are a few people who are going to deliver what is necessary for Stardom to deliver as a booker. Uh, and I think probably the fear is that Bushiro just puts somebody in and
Yeah.
just like fucking Manabu Nakanishi. And that's no respect to him, but just like, what the fuck does he know about this type of thing? Because they like to do that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that like there's a possibility that Bushiroad just goes, hey, you worked with Gato a little bit, you know what to do. And you get like Liger or something booking. Um
Yeah,
and I don't really know what Liger is like as a booker. People say he booked the junior division. And that wasn't like
he tried.
amazing. So
He tried. He
yeah,
tried to book the junior division.
yeah.
It's not an easy job in any company to book a junior division.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like there's a small chance it could be somebody on the roster, like
That's what I was
Mayu or
thinking.
Tam or something could get it,
Yeah,
because like he might want to pass it on to them. But if Bushiro just decides, oh hey, we're just gonna like pull somebody who's worked with Gato, or even worse, it's just like, hey Gato, you book it. Then yeah, those could be
if
potential successors. And if it is
let
Gato
me
that takes
say,
over,
oh
they're
no,
fucked. Like I'm not
yeah,
watching
it's
anymore.
no, that just becomes New Japan's women's division. Like I don't know how much they would
Dude,
contain
Natsuko
that
is going to be
emphasize,
champion within like 9 months and have like
which is
five
okay, but
interferences
like
per match.
yeah,
They're going to go 40 minutes with like 20 minutes of interference, and
yeah.
yeah, we're done. I'm out at that point.
Um, but I mean, if Yoshino wants a job, I'm sure he could kill it. He
I
does
don't
great
know.
with everything, but
A,
he's busy.
a descent
Um,
of Miko booking well does not sound very
okay, true,
possible. So
true. But I don't know. I feel like Rossi would probably want someone like a Mayu,
yeah,
but he probably also knows that Mayu's Mayu, and he
yes,
Like
Yeah.
she's not Rossi. She like there's levels to it. So I imagine he would want to pass it down to someone he trusts and cares about. But as long as it's not Sunny, I think we're cool.
Oh Jesus.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Sunny is
Better.
probably in the middle of terrible options. Like there's definitely worse.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Um, yeah, no, Stardom would lose a lot without Rossi. I mean, you're not gonna
Yeah.
pick up a guy that much experience off the street, like unless you hire Vince McMahon himself. But we're not going down that route. Um, the next question then is, what's your favorite faction lineup in Stardom history? Dylan, which flavor of Oedo Tai did you pick?
That's the real question because it's like there are like from 2017 to until Kagetsu retired, there were like maybe like I don't know, you could probably pinpoint like three or four very distinctive generations, and they were all dope. Uh, for me, I feel like it'll probably be like post draft Oedo Tai 2018, um, when Hazuki and Hana and Hanakamura was still together, because I would say it's hard to pick one or the other, right? Because I
Mhm.
love them both in Oedo Tai, and they only coexisted for a short period of time. Uh, and most of that time, Hana was in Mexico. But there was like this one period when the Artists of Stardom Championships were vacated, and the tag team to try to pick them up was Kagetsu, Hazuki, and Hanakamura. And when they were all on the same page for that very brief period of time, it was probably that, because that just has so much star power, so much personality. They were still doing the dance. Uh, they still had Hana, obviously. Unfortunately, they didn't have Chris still. I think Chris left a couple of months before that. But yeah, I would say like right there is like the sweet spot for me. And as long as we don't mention that Brandy Rhodes was technically a part of it, I think it's perfect.
All right. Mine is a similar era. It's post 2019 draft, I think. Stars. Mayu, Arisa, Saki,
Oh yeah,
Tam, Hanan. Pound for pound, one of the best
good
lineups you will
kid,
ever get.
like
Starlight
like
Kid.
solid babyface kid.
Yeah. Like I don't think you can beat that era of stars. I mean, you had like the top four all going crazy regularly. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they had a really fun run with the artist belts around that time as well, with
yeah.
Mayu, Tam, and Saki.
And
So
Riho would contribute to that too. She would
she
she
would,
was
yeah.
like kind of like a floating.
Yeah, so
That
like
was a
yeah, I don't I
yeah.
don't think you can what's happened? Oh yeah. I don't
Okay.
think you can like beat that era of stars. I think one that will eventually be a lot of people's answers might be the big four DDM era. Um like there's not a
Yeah.
lot of nostalgia for like post COVID stardom for a lot of reasons. But eventually I think those four will be looked at as like they made this shit watchable when Rossi needed to retool everything. So I think eventually people will look at that DDM Big Four as like one of the best lineups ever. But
And you're not even counting Natsupoi in that.
oh shit, yeah, geez, Big Five.
I mean, the big five. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you had that run of dominance, and I wouldn't blame anybody for picking that faction. But I mean, I love that 2019 Stars lineup. Like they were just so fun to watch all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I get that.
yeah, and you were never gonna pick anyone other than DDM or Oedatai. So it's
Oh yeah. No.
um
I don't think newer fans get that. That like a lot of my resentment towards DD or towards Oedo Tai now isn't even because of the actual output. It's because it's the same name. Like they're sharing the same name with literally, my opinion, the greatest faction to ever exist ever.
yeah,
uh and they're just never going to live up to that, quite
no,
frankly. Like they
no.
could be phenomenal, they could be the best faction in the company by far, and it's still they're still going to be like an inch off at all times at least. So I don't think a lot of like people, because I haven't mentioned that in a long time, uh so I imagine newer fans probably don't know that. That's the main reason why I can't fully get behind Oedo Tai nowadays.
That's valid. That's valid. The next question is, who's a wrestler from the golden age of Joshi who would have done better in the Joshi scene today? So, I think you asked for a specification there, and it was late 80s, early 90s as the
Yeah, because
golden
I
age.
mean, like if it was if it was like an old, if it was just the old generation of Joshi, I would say like half of the Dark Ages. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
like there were some diamonds in the rough that just had nowhere to shine.
yeah.
You know, like I mean, I was talking with widescreen about Meikawa the other day, um, and Momoe Nakanishi. Like those two literally would be the biggest stars in Joshi if they were around today.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind. Like outside maybe Mayu, they would be like, especially Momoe. I feel like she has that style. But since we're talking about that older generation, I feel like Eagle Sawai. And it's
No,
strange
Dylan, you're never gonna. That was my answer as well.
because like I think nowadays it's just like it's a powerhouse world.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of what they need, and I feel like back in the day she was kind of pigeonholed into like, oh well, if you're big and strong, you're just going to be a heel and just do the body scissors. And it's like when she like let loose and like did some stuff, she was fucking insane, but
Uh
she
huh.
didn't really get that chance because she was just big bad heel. And I feel like nowadays she would be a lot more, and she had that ability back then for sure, but she would have been given the opportunity to do a lot more nowadays. That's so wild that we both are thinking her because she's a niche fucking pick. Like she is not what comes to mind. Like what I mean, that's actually kind of crazy. That's synergy right there.
Yeah, because my mind immediately went to Saki Hasegawa, and then I was like,
I can see
I
that.
don't know if she'd do better. Also, I had Debbie Malenko as one, but I felt like she was cheating because she got injured. Like
Yeah,
AJW did like her, she just got hurt. But like I don't know how far they would have pushed her, but I assume she'd have been like white belt champion at least.
mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Surprised she never got that.
I did essentially settle on Eagle Sawai because I was like, she suffered from the LLPW problem, which was if you're not Kandori, those people were not there. They didn't care, and Kandori was more than happy for that to be the case. So you had people like
And
Eagle.
I would say Saito is like the only person who could ever even vaguely like get some shine. And even then, it's like you can't find more than 5 Harley Saito matches on YouTube right now.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, like
like it's
Saito had
that
to
sort of
put in
issue.
all-time babyface performances just to get
Hmm.
anything out of those people. But Eagle Sawai, like any company would bite your hand off for her. Like just the size alone.
100%.
Then she had charisma. She could play like the heel. She could play the babyface. Yeah, she'd rock in today's scene. Like she'd be long reigning red belt champion or top star of TJPW or something. Like she'd run the scene these days.
Should be like Matsumoto on drugs.
Oh yeah,
Hiroyo
yeah,
Matsumoto on drugs.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's wild. We went with the same one.
Well,
Um,
because like a lot of people succeeded back then. Not succeeded. I mean, like a
yes.
lot of people had, like if it's a matter of doing better today,
Mm,
like again, and also it depends on the era, because like, are we talking about like Yumika Hoda? Because she ended up by '97, she was the only competent person.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
But like, if we're talking like Dream Slam era Hoda, then yeah, I mean, like Hoda now, like she could be the Milia Mashita if she got transported nowadays.
Mm,
Like because she has had that kind of the same kind of just like uniqueness to her, I guess, but was kind of just lost in the shuffle at that point.
yeah.
But yeah, I would say like solidly Eagle because I think she just didn't really get her due for one reason or another.
Yeah, and even when like the scene started to die off, she was stuck in like the heel groups still, like
She was in
yeah,
Gurentai. Yeah,
Gurentai and Black Joker
she
and
was
stuff.
Shark Tsuchiya and Lioness Asuka's third. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
yeah,
That's wild.
sadness.
I'm a big Sharky fan, but that's just that's not a place you want to be.
No, not at all. No. Yeah, Eagle got done dirty by Joshi. Um, let's see. What? Oh yeah.
Want me to take over a few?
No, no, you're grand. So this
Okay,
one
cool.
is what Joshi wrestler would you bring in to have a match in Stardom who hasn't yet? I mean, is it a cop out to say like Miyu Yamashita? Like, can I say that? Can I say like Miyu?
I feel like we have a few. There's a few that are related to Miyu Yamashita and Stardom question mark.
Yes.
Because somebody also asked, what promotion Ace? Pedro asked, what promotion Ace would you like to see make the jump elsewhere? Uh, and
Yeah.
then there's some about TJPW, but yeah, I mean Miyu is kind of a cop out. I'll say
Yeah.
that. But it's true.
Yes.
That'd be really fun. Um,
If we have to go like freelance, then Takase, obviously. I mean that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mio Momono is the one that I've literally been begging for years now.
Mm,
Because she just somehow hasn't done like even like one appearance
yeah.
like every other Marvelous wrestler has. Uh, including Chigusa. She's just the only one. But yeah, I don't know. I've if they want to grow out NSA, there's a million people you could grab, right?
Yeah.
Like, and also, are we talking about like ever competing in Stardom? Because if we're talking about just like in recent memory, I mean, I feel like everybody's been asking for Tayo to have one
Yeah.
last match in Stardom. But I mean, she was there obviously years ago. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. But if we're talking about like a star, I would say Mio Momono, Miyu Yamashita, uh, Takase. But if we're talking about like people that would be really fun, like there's Aoki. I would love to see Itsuki Aoki as a part
Mm,
of NSA. Like just not like for her to join Stardom, but just hang out uh with Nanai because I think they have a lot of chemistry together. Uh, there's a lot.
yes.
Matsumoto hasn't been around in a while, but again, that's not a new person. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That one was our answers might have been bad there.
a little
Now
bit,
the next
but
one is
there's a lot of people.
yes. Yeah. Now not a lot of people this time. Name an international
Mm.
wrestler you'd like to see in Stardom. Um, I assume Kylan King isn't allowed here because she already wrestled Mayu.
You're a big Kylan King fan.
She's great. And if not her, then I mean I'm very high on Promise Braxton, so I would be all in on Promise
Promise is good.
Braxton getting a run in Stardom. But if you're just talking like a one-off or something, then I mean Lufisto. I mean she'd be pretty badass.
It's wild that she never got the shout.
Yeah. So I
Um,
mean Promise if we're talking long term, but if we're just talking a one-off, then like yeah, Lufisto getting a match would be pretty cool.
I feel like Stardom's falling behind big time with
Yes.
the
And somebody
promotions
asks
because like
about
I'm
that
thinking,
later, I think, so we'll
yeah,
be able to get on that.
we'll get yeah, but like because like my honest answers were Janai Kai and Sandra
Mhm.
Moon, but they're kind of already taken. Uh, Hyan, she's really good.
Yes.
If we're talking like AEW, I think Athena would be fun. Like uh, there's a few in AEW, but not a lot that I would like to see. Chris Stat, I mean, is always uh, if she could keep her knees healthy, she's always
Yeah.
an option there. Um, but yeah, I feel like a lot of people who have already been in Japan with different companies or
Yeah.
are going to Japan with different companies are the easy answers there.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Is there anybody in Europe that is notable right now?
you know, Bowling JD put me onto this woman, I think Alice Inc., and she'd be really cool in Japan. I think she'd get over, and I guess Kanji. I've always thought Kanji would do really well here because she
Hmm,
had good matches with Emi Sakura. Um, But otherwise, I mean, you're talking like Alex Windsor, who's already being brought over,
yeah.
and I would have.
There's this one. This is one deathmatch wrestler in Minnesota. This is kind of off topic. There's this one deathmatch wrestler in northern Midwest who just stole Kagetsu's face paint, and I dig it. Like I love it. Like I'm cool. Like I'm not shitting on him, but like I just think it's really dope. So if they're any good, I don't remember their name. I follow them on Twitter now. But if they're any good,
Is it
then get
Ziggy?
them over. Why not?
Ziggy Heim? No,
No, no.
sure.
What the? Where did I see it? It might be.
Because I know they went viral there the other day.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. The next question is from our buddy Xavier. What two wrestlers would you kick out of Stardom, to where they would thrive most? Um,
Yes.
hmm.
I don't like the way he phrased it, but
No.
there are answers.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I feel like a lot of people. I like in Stardom, and I think they're used
Mhm.
pretty adequately. So like I don't want to kick them out. Um, I guess I would say Saida, and I would send her
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's the
Like you put
answer.
her in Seedling, she's great. You put her in TJPW, I think they'd make good use of her. You put her anywhere really, and I think they would make good use of Saida.
Her and Kohaku could just dominate every tag division in the world.
Oh yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like just the two small ones, one of them's fast, one of them's
Mm,
strong. I feel like that's just a team made in fucking heaven right there.
easily, easily. Um, and hmm, so
I agree with Ida. I'm trying to think of a second one.
yeah. Um, you know,
We could do what everybody's always asked for and send Momo to
I
anywhere
like
else.
Momo. I like Momo in Stardom.
I'm cool with Momo. I think Momo definitely has a upward trajectory
Mm,
at some point. It's just not right now, and people are very upset about that.
yeah,
Uh, Let me think. This is a
it
hard one.
is. It is. Maybe Ruaka, because I feel like Ruaka in a different company could really flourish as a heel, but obviously in Stardom, she's always just gonna be
Mini
yeah.
Nasta.
Whereas you send her to like Marvelous or something, and I think you'd have a fun time.
I could see it.
Like she'd be like the
Um,
big antagonist to Mio and Takumi, and I think she'd have fun there. Or again, TJPW I think could make decent use of her. But yeah, I think maybe Ida and Ruaka, but those seem like cop
who's my
outs.
number two?
Maybe Tekla. Tekla I think would be like
I was kind of thinking
she'd be
Tekla for a
like
sec.
because Stardom likes her obviously, but she'd be like a top big deal anywhere else. Like
Who would you send anybody to America? Not saying that they would do better because I don't think any women's wrestler does better in America than they do in Japan. But like, does anybody?
well,
Do you see
only
anybody like
people only
succeeding?
people that are already being pushed by Stardom, like Mina Shirakawa is an obvious one, but they like her, so and she's gonna win the white belt. Um,
Like I feel like Natsupoi could
yeah, but she's
uh,
another one that they
could
really like. So
thrive.
like, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
thriving has
mean,
to be better than they're doing in Stardom, and there's very few
yeah.
because they like Giulia, and she'd obviously be amazing in America. They like Mina, and she'd be amazing abroad. The same kind of goes for Natsupoi. So I don't know. I think.
I mean, maybe somebody in a way, maybe like Saki Kashima. Not abroad. I don't think Saki would do well in like America necessarily, but like I think she could do something in like Marvelous or something.
Maybe.
She'd be fun in Wave, I'm sure. Have her do the shitty hardcore
Mm,
matches. I think that's kind of where she would thrive. Actually, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'll say Saki Kashima and
all
Ida.
right. So yeah, we both went for Ida and a way to time member. um,
Yes.
all right. So the next question is, how hyped are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for Tomoka Watanabe versus Chikayo Nagashima for the 3AW title?
Also, one more thing. Starlight Kid to Actress Girls because I don't watch that. So
Don't besmirch that.
I should actually no. Starlight Kid to Ice Ribbon.
Oh
Actress
yeah.
Girls sounds like they're
All right.
popping
Yeah,
off.
they are.
I'll send her to
All
Ice.
right.
Yeah.
So how hyped am I for Watanabe versus Nagashima? Like a three out of 10 because the crowd might be super into Watanabe, but that's about it.
I was thinking about this. I was like, if this is like a last hurrah and this isn't the next big feud for the 3AW belt, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there could be something to it. I mean, obviously they're not neither of them are in their prime and we're all kind of just waiting for the 3AW belt to go back to Takumi or onto Mio, which is probably not going to happen anytime soon. Um, but yeah, I'd say like a 4. I don't know if I'll watch it, but but like I don't see a problem with it. I just think that it's like if this is like really like a last hurrah for them, uh,
Well,
more power
I
to
don't
them.
think it is because
That's the
Watanabe
fear.
gets like
Yeah.
an annual big match in Stardom or in Marvelous, and I'm like, guys, she wasn't pushed until the dying days of AJW. I don't know who's like,
And even then she was like number 4
yeah, like
like
I don't know
overall.
who's busting the door down in 2023 to see Tomoka Watanabe. But then again, she was like the second most over person on the last Marvelous Corkin, so what the hell do I know? um,
She throws a good power bomb.
yeah,
Can't
yeah,
forget
that's
that.
true. Um, the next question anyway is which young Joshi prospect should get more opportunities? Um, if I'm not allowed to say Mio, then Riko Kawahata. She's like Riko is one of those
Oh, Rico's
where
great.
you're like, oh, she has literally everything, but she's gonna bonk into the glass ceiling of the Joshi Indies where she's just gonna be like a losing member of a tag team with like the ace or something. Um,
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is, like, what do we mean by more opportunities? Because like, Rico's everywhere.
she
She
should be
can't
pushed
get many
everywhere.
more opportunities than somebody. That's
Yeah,
the thing, yeah. But, like, n no young Joshi is getting pushed. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah.
the case for most of them,
Which I
kind
think
of.
is why Mio's a
Um,
good shout because she is kind of just marvelous in Sendai now, and you're like, can we
yeah,
do a bit more?
get her
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well, is, like, Eureka Oka is
yeah,
wait. Am I
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's not really anywhere outside of Sendai and occasionally
Mm.
Marvelous, and even then she's tagging with Hozan, so it's not really like she's doing much. Uh, I'd like to see her pretty much anywhere. That'd be fun. Uh, I'll always go to bat for Kohaku, like I said earlier. I think she's one of the best young wrestlers right now. But again, obviously this is like, maybe I'm a bit preemptive, but I think Kohaku wins the wave belt within the next year or two, maybe
I
two,
don't know. I
not
don't know
one,
about that.
not one. It'll take a while. I think she probably wins it in the next 2 years. That's how I see it, at least. Um, but so, like, again, like, I'd love her to go everywhere, but if she's not getting buried in
No.
wave, so like
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I think Mio's probably the best answer of
Yeah.
of
Pretty much.
ours,
I mean,
but
she did just lose to
yeah,
Kaoru Ito, and I think that is a damning indication of how things are for
that's
Mio
wild.
Momono. So yeah, please save Mio. Um, let's see. Next question: if you were Rossi, how would you book Tall Saya post the white belt? And I would say, if it's me, uh, either a tag run or the artist belts just to keep her going. Um, what Rossi
Yeah.
will actually do is she's going to fade into the background for the rest of the year. But what he should do is let QQ run with those artist belts or let Aphrodite have the tag belts and kind of keep her doing good stuff, but also have her kind of step back a bit and work as a team instead of being on her own.
Yeah, I think Aphrodite, what is it? Whatever. Um, I think them for the tag belts is probably my
Mm.
go-to, because I think Utami isn't winning the red belt yet. Again, and if she doesn't beat Saya, she doesn't really have any reason to win the white belt anytime soon. Uh, and honestly, this is like kind of a topic of discussion, but I don't think I think Saya's peaking. Like, I don't know if she gets that red belt run, or if she gets another world championship run, or anything like that. I think this is kind of like, I think she, like, is having this big year and a half, and then I think she's going to fade long term.
Mm,
And because I don't see her running a faction. Like, I don't see her turning heel. And if she does, I don't know if that's a smart idea. I don't see her doing a lot. I mean, she could always win the white belt back, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, whatever. But like, I don't really see her, like, I don't see this as like, oh, we're gonna cool her off and then bring her back up, like they did with Giulia, for example, or like I think they're doing with Utami. Like, I think this white belt run has kind of been where her bread and butter's been, and she's going to, uh, kind of get demoted long term after this, more like a Momo Watanabe than a Giulia, is what I'm trying to say. Uh, but yeah, I would still say give Aphrodite the tag
mm.
belts, because I, I I feel like the tag division could really use like a real, um, cornerstone after Mahime's gone, and I think, you know why not give the belts back to them? It's been a while, and they could definitely improve as a tag team, uh, and give them something to do.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, Utami has kind of done nothing for long enough that you should probably get her back in the mix. So her and Saya as tag champs would be pretty good. Um, Next question then is early dark horse picks for this year's Grand Prix. My like main three. are probably Starlight Kid, Natsupoi, and Utami. I feel like Utami might go for her second, but I feel like Kid might also get it because she's like Kid is on the downswing right now, and it would be very on brand for Rossy to have her be quiet for the first 7 months and then win the GP. Right, like that's perfectly up his alley. Um, so I could see that as a case. And I mean, Natsupoi, based on a comment Tom made the other day, they might need her to be the new number one idol. So who knows?
Yeah. I think Micah loses the final. I think Micah goes to the final and loses. I would love for her to be my pick, but I feel like that's kind of the limit. Is she's gonna make it to the
Yeah.
finals and then lose, Goto style. I think she should win. I think that'd be really dope, but that's not my decision. Um, yeah, I think I don't think Poi wins 5 star. If anything, I think she wins like next year's Cinderella.
It depends because
I can't see her winning the five. She doesn't seem like a 5 star winning type wrestler.
uh depends. I don't know. Like
I know that sounds weird, but
she's really charismatic
like even
and really
Kid
good
more so.
and very popular. Like I feel like you have everything there with Natsupoi.
I mean, no, I think she's great, but I just don't know if she's a GP winner. Uh, yeah, I'll say Mirai or Utami.
Hmm. Mariah's a good one.
And Mirai winning is hard
Yeah.
because she'd already be like what in the conversation with Giulia, Tony Storm,
Mayu.
and
Yeah.
Mayu.
Yeah.
Like it's a bit early, but I mean, and also she would have to win because she's lost so much, so many title matches, and she's not beating
Mm.
anybody. Uh, I think Mariah beats Mina, so she'd probably wipe out champion by 5 star. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go if Utami and Saya don't win the tag belts,
Yeah.
then Utami. That's
Yeah.
that's my pick.
I know. I would agree. Um, the next question then is where do the three trainees end up faction wise? Um, I don't. Do you want to go first?
Um, Risa Fella or what's her name, Ueda?
Yeah.
She goes either to DDM to be their new
Hmm.
big, and I know it's a question later on about who
Yeah.
replaces Himeka. I don't think Himeka's replaceable, but I think if anybody, it'd be Ueda. Or she goes to prominence, depending on how.
Hmm.
Like I would like not like to prominence, but she could be prominence as like local
Yeah.
girl. I could see that. Uh, I think that would make the most sense. I would personally love that. I think that would be dope. Uh, but again, she kind of gets left in the dirt if prominence just bails one
Yeah.
day. So I don't know if they do that. Komomo, I don't know,
Yeah.
stars. Maybe she's the one who goes to Cosmic Angels.
She does kind of have that Cosmic Angels thing to her. Um,
Yeah,
that I feel like the Cry Girl could
but
because
I feel like the Karate Girl can't isn't a
I don't
Cosmic
know.
Angel. That's the thing. Like I know she's a gravity model and she like I get it, but I don't know. I feel like she's a lot more of a wrestler's wrestler, or she has that like
Mm,
vibe. But who knows? We haven't
yeah,
seen them debut
that's
yet.
true.
Like once she debuts, I will know if she fits in Cosmic Angels or not. Uh, if not, then I could see her being Julia's new protege. But then again, my Sakurai gets left in the dirt if that happens.
Yeah,
So who knows? I'm interested. Come back to me when they've
yeah.
debuted. Come back to me like the day after New Blood Premium, and I'll have a more clear idea of where I think they
All
should
right.
go.
Okay.
Um,
For
so
me,
yeah.
I have Risa Fella going to Oedo Tai because they haven't got a new member in a while, and why not get the tall one? Um, I have Sakura Ishiguro going to God's Eye, and I have Komomo going to either Stars or Cosmic Angels.
Ooh, I like Girl-chan
Yeah,
in
because
God's Eye.
the thing is,
I would like that because I like imagine Julia. like beating her and being like, "You're pretty cool," and then Shuri's like, "I'm just gonna step in
That's what
here."
I'm thinking, yeah, because you can like easily make that a thing then. Um, unless DDM wanted to get her so that they could like pair her off with Inaba or something, but I feel like her and God's Eye would be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see Ueda in Oedo Tai. I just don't know. I feel like Oedo Tai is so big, even though they're not particularly huge. Like they're not like that big of a faction, but like it feels like there's so many people in it that like coming in is going to fuck up Ruaka's progress. You know, Rina is going to become like even further down, and like that's okay. But like I don't know where Ueda would slot in because I feel like she would be above Rina for now, but also I don't know. That's another thing is that you don't know with Stardom
Mhm.
trainees. You know, like Miyu Amasaki already beat what Rina. Like she's beaten people far more experienced than she is. So it's not like she just slides in at the
Yeah.
absolute bottom of the roster. It's not like any of them do. Uh, so you don't really know how the dynamics will work. But I could see a Uedo Tai Ueda. That'd be
Yeah, no, I'd
interesting.
be into that. The next question then is, what happens to the high speed belt post Azumi? I mean, Saki Kashima gets it, and then it bounces from host to host
Yeah.
again. I don't think we're gonna see a reign like Azumi's for a while. Um, and it's just gonna go back to being a belt where it's just on whoever is in the division that doesn't have much going on at that moment in time. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a dour outlook, but that's kind of where I see the belt going, just kind of back to what it was.
Yeah, I think it goes Zumi, Saki Kashima, Koguma,
Mm,
and then from there, I don't know. You know, maybe Komomo, the new girl, wins it, depending on how long those reigns are. Maybe not wins it, but is like in contention. Maybe Momokogo,
yeah.
that'd be cool. Maybe they bring in an outsider, hopefully not Zaya Brookside to win it. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not as like uh, you know doom and gloom about it, but it's definitely going to take a hit.
Yeah.
You know, like I would love for like Mace Ruga to come in and win it, or somebody of that nature. You know, some outsider to come in and win it, and kind of have that be their foot in the door. Uh, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know.
I'm cool with
Yeah,
Koguma winning it.
she'll get it
Down the
eventually.
line though. I think Koguma
Yeah.
having a run with it
Her and
makes
Tekla
sense
are like
because it's like
locks. I
sh
get it.
oh yeah, Tekla,
Yeah.
Tekla, Tekla
Yeah.
definitely gets it.
100%.
Uh, but yeah, I think Koguma doesn't have that high of a ceiling in a singles
Mm.
role outside of tournaments. So getting her the high speed belt is like perfect when she's not doing tag stuff or trio stuff.
Yeah, that's
So
kind of her
yeah.
spot, really. Kind of in the company.
Mhm.
Um, the next question: What's Alex's problem with Megumi Kudo, and what will it take, to recognize she's the greatest of all time? Um, I don't know, man. Get good, I guess. It's,
I think the thing with Kudo, and I know this is a question for you, but I think the thing with Kudo is that she'll admit this. Like there are documentaries about how she felt near the end of her run. That's like after the first few years, like after the her stint in AJW, she kind of realized that there's nothing for her to do, because there is no forward motion in the
mhm.
FMW women's division. And there never was. So I don't know if you know this. I found this out while writing about her. She was planning to retire like 4 years before
All
she
right.
retired, but she couldn't because Onita announced his retirement. It took him a year to retire. She couldn't rain on his parade. Then Combat Toyota announced her retirement. It took her like 9 months to retire, so she couldn't rain on her parade. And then finally she was able to retire, but you can't just automatically retire. So she had to wait like 6 months and do her final stuff. So yeah, it took like 3 years after she wanted to retire for her to retire. Um, so I think like if you don't you know, like it makes sense. Like I don't think Megumi Kudo is like a must, but I think she's phenomenal, especially for the cards she was dealt.
I mean, I feel like you've given me this reputation as like somebody who hates her, but when we did VTG and watched early FMW women's stuff, I thought I enjoyed her. So like, You make me seem like a
No,
hater,
you know
but
what? I think you no, I think the funny thing is I think you tweeted on your private that Megumi Kudo was
yeah,
overrated.
yeah,
One time, like a year ago. Like that's it. That's the only reason. And so I made a joke about it. And now it's like, what the fuck is wrong
yeah,
with Alex? And yeah, I think that's great. I love spreading misinformation.
of course. So the next
But nah, people don't know about her match with Svetlana. I think that's the
dude,
issue.
Svetlana Gundarenko, the
That was
best
crazy.
wrestler.
That was crazy.
Like, I had to explain Svetlana to somebody, and I was like, she was essentially like a 6+ foot tall judo woman from Russia wrestling these tiny women from Japan, and she would just shoot
Mhm.
fuck them up because she was an Olympic level judo wrestler. Um,
Yeah. She would just like
yeah,
concuss them and then put in
and
an armbar
it,
and win.
the funniest thing is Shinobu Kandori, being Shinobu Kandori, thought she could shoot beat Svetlana. So there's an LLPW show that's like a shoot tournament, and the final is
Love
Kandori
those.
versus Svetlana, and Svetlana just sits on Kandori for essentially the entire thing. It is the single greatest freak show match in history. Like just this tall, beefy Russian judo expert fucking everybody around and then sitting on Kandori, who thought she had the big balls and would fuck this woman up, but could not. It is amazing. I love Svetlana. Um, Svetlana's great.
Svetlanana's dope.
But anyway, the next question is fantasy book an indie worker against a Stardom talent. Um, Again, going for like not affiliated with other companies, which makes it a bit more difficult. Um,
Mhm.
I would say, good question actually. Um, this this is very specific, but I think like the Renegade Twins versus FWC might go crazy.
That's
Or
solid.
like
That's solid.
Lufisto against uh Mirai.
Mephisto versus Micah
Yeah, I
or
have
Mirai.
Lufisto and
I
Mirai.
like either of those matches. Um,
I have some like
hmm.
weird options that only
Yeah,
I would be into, right? Like I like these Texas indie women that I've seen, like Gigi Ray would have a cool match with Azumi, but nobody knows who the fuck that is.
I don't like I don't know why I'm blanking so hard because I have some of those like indie wrestlers in my back pocket. That's like, oh yeah, y'all don't know about this, like, but I just can't think of any specific at this exact moment. Um, damn, I don't know. And if we're talking about indie talent, as in anywhere indie talent, then uh, yeah, also give me like Itsuki Aoki versus Micah
Yeah, I
or
assumed it was
something
like
dumb.
international indies,
That's just
but
for me.
maybe not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine. Uh, man, I don't even have any in my spreadsheet this year. I don't have
Um, would you go for
many
like
indie
Rachel
women.
Rose? Maybe. I don't like the sound of that. Megan Bain?
She's
You into Megan Bain?
Megan Bain's
Yeah.
decent. I haven't seen
She
her in
was
a while.
injured for like
Uh,
forever.
let's. I mean, again, it's an issue of like Stardom is late because like Billy Starks versus
Yeah.
Azumi would be interesting. Just kind of like a young
Mm.
showcase type of thing. Uh, yeah, I'm not really sure. It's hard. Like I said, Hyan's great. I think her having a powerhouse match against a Micah, Mirai, that'd
Yeah.
be really, really fun.
Hyan is such an all-rounder though that I
Yeah.
feel like she could just wrestle anybody. Like you could put her against pretty much
Oh
everybody
yeah,
on the
100%.
roster. Um, oh, maybe like Kanji and Azumi. I think that would be good. Yeah.
That could be fun. That could be fun. Yeah, I'm these questions about international talent is actually way harder than I remember because of how quickly TJPW
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
to get the
Stardom
talent.
needs to
But
get on
again, I
that
think there's a
Alice Inc.
question of
train, you
time
know?
is.
I honestly like her and Momo Watanabe, I think would people would be super into, but like nobody knows who Alice Inc. is, so it's great. Um anyway, the next
Kaho Kobayashi versus no, I'm kidding.
of course. Will I just move on to the next question? You seem to be having a hard time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um so it's what match on TJPW Grand Princess are you most looking forward to, Dylan?
Yeah. Rika Tatsumi and Miyu Watanabe is like the obvious one,
Yeah.
but I will say that Ryu Mizunami finds a way to steal every single TGPW show she's on.
Yes.
So I imagine Mocha's gonna have literally her best match of all time. Um,
Undoubtedly.
well,
Yeah.
she was in that really good tag match the other week, but still, uh, yeah, I imagine that'll be really good. Also, isn't it Suzume versus Arisa Endo? Isn't that
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
can't
will
have
also be pretty
three.
fun.
You can't have
I
three.
know, I know. It's looking like a good card. It's looking like
It
a good
is.
card.
It
I'm
is.
mentioning everything except for the main event because, um, uh, you know, it's a main event I've seen before. And
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TGPW, so that's saying something.
All right.
But
Well,
I-
mine
I'll go.
is.
I'll go with Mocha versus Rio.
All right. Okay. Mine is Aja Kong versus Yuki Arai because of course it is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I
that's
thought
a
you'd go
fucking
with that.
stupid card, bro.
I know, right? It's
That card
crazy.
is absurd.
Like at least two potential match of the year candidates. Probably the War Party against 1-2-1 million as well. And the thing with the War Party is they're so much thicker than everybody in Japan that
Oh yeah.
all of them are not afraid to lay it in. Like Yuki Arai was booting Max the Impaler in the face
See,
just because,
it's go ahead.
yeah, because obviously like Max can take that. And so I feel like Miyu Yamashita will have a field day working with two hosses like that.
It's similar to how when I was, like 7, and my older neighbor who was like 10, uh, he's the person who introduced me to wrestling. So when we would play wrestle in like the backyard or I would just fucking beat the shit out of him because
Yeah.
he was like bigger than me. So I was just like, oh well, this doesn't fucking hurt you, so I'm just gonna actually try to hurt you as much as possible. It's like that. That's great.
Yeah,
I love that.
100%. Yes, I I agree. That's kind of how the War Party matches work in TJPW. Um, so yeah, but yeah, mine's Aja Kong and Yuki
That's
Arai.
valid.
Of course
That's
it
valid.
is.
It's looking
Um,
like a great card though. I'll
very
give
much
him
so.
that.
Very much so. The next question is, who do you have dethroning Mercedes Money? I think the question was specifically a Joshi wrestler. I'm not like convinced it'll be a Stardom wrestler. Like for all we know, they could pick up another international woman to do it, especially if
I
like
mean,
AEW gets in the question.
allegedly, Mayu is the forehead
Yes,
answer,
yeah,
but I
maybe.
mean, apparently she's getting paid what she wants. But
Yeah,
um, I don't know. It depends on how long she's staying. Because if she does just do the one Stardom date, then yeah, it's Mayu. But
mm,
if she develops a bit more, she develops some more uh rivalries, a bit more. I could see it being Utami. I feel like Utami's the answer to everything. Like Utami can
yeah,
slot in literally anywhere that they want her, at any time because she's Utami Hayashishita. So, but no, I'll go with Mayu for now. But if it's announced that she's gonna do more dates, then who knows?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm not even sure it's a Stardom wrestler. Like, I feel like we could see the belt go full international eventually. Um,
Yeah,
and kind of make use of
but even then,
partnerships.
I don't know who. You know what's funny? I was thinking about is that like Stardom used to be like, yeah, we're not working with AEW because Ring of Honor, and now it's like, what's the excuse now?
Yes. Yeah.
Not saying that I want them to, but I just thought that was funny because I was like, damn, like somebody brought up that Mayu won the Women of Honor belt, and like they were like, hey, what about this? And I was like, damn, I totally forgot that like was a problem initially, but
Yeah, yeah, I remember Mayu was like very loyal to Ring of Honor because they helped get
mhm,
her visa or something. So she was
yeah,
like, I'm not working anywhere else. So that was a whole thing. But yeah, who's dethroning Mercedes? Mayu is forehead answer, but I genuinely am not sure because there's a lot of variables there that
yeah.
could kind of get in the way.
Depends on how
Um,
long Jamie Hayter's the world champion, because
that's true, yeah.
I mean, like if Jamie drops that to God forbid Soraya, um, then fuck it, get her that belt immediately.
Yes, I agree. Which Stardom wrestler or wrestlers are you sharing Kobe beef with?
Well, Hazuki's the one with all the Kobe beef.
That's true,
Well,
but
actually, no, they stole it from her.
oh
But
really? Okay. Assuming we have Kobe beef to share.
okay,
Um, hmm. I don't know. I feel
I
like,
want to get drunk with Micah.
of course. um, Can you even legally drink?
In Japan, I can.
Okay, all right. Um, I think I'd just go with Mayu. I think I would just sit back and watch Mayu be Mayu, and I would have the time of my
Uh,
life. Like she would just be so silly that I'd be like, all right, this is living. Um, so yeah,
Also,
good for her,
for 14-year-old or no, 15-year-old me, Azumi,
of
because
course, of course.
it's Azumi.
Yeah,
That's my girl.
yeah. So I feel like mine would be like Mayu and Koguma because I would just be able to watch the fireworks there.
Yeah, which faction? I think that's the more interesting question. Like, which faction
Mm,
would you go out to dinner with
you
to just like
know,
hang out
as
and
a faction,
exist?
God's Eye, because they seem cracked, right? Like they all seem cracked out of their minds. But individually, I would pick Mayu and Koguma.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe DDM for me. Like
Mm,
if we're talking faction, I feel like that'd
mm,
be interesting. And technically could translate, so that's great.
that's fair, yeah. Um, let's see, what's next? Okay, why hasn't Stardom worked with TJPW? So I mean, TJPW is like, um,
Isolationist.
yeah, infamously like isolationist, does not work with anybody. Like they only co-promote with the other Wrestle Universe promotions. So TGP just doesn't do that sort of thing. And I also imagine tensions would be high given Stardom poaching at least three people in the last few years. And also the two companies being in very direct competition with each other. So a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons.
And I think down the road, I wouldn't be surprised because I mean, like DDT and New Japan are fine together. I mean, obviously they're rivals, but they can are capable of co-promoting at certain points, right?
Yeah.
So I, but I don't know. I feel like TGPW is Cyber Fight's like baby, and they're like we don't they hold it with kid gloves in a certain way, where it's like nobody outside is coming in except for maybe Mesaruga. Uh, we are going to they're very very particular with TGPW in
Hmm.
comparison to like DDT. Is something that I've noticed. So I don't say that will never happen, but it's unlikely, and
Yeah.
I kind of I get it. Not
Hmm.
every company's gonna play nice, so
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't going to happen now at a time where both companies would benefit, like coming off of the Muto retirement show, which was such a big deal because everybody worked together.
mhm.
It's just not really likely at all. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. The next question then is who should beat Giulia for the red belt? I mean Suzuki is
Yeah, Suzu's the
the
answer.
obvious one, and if she hasn't signed, then I would go with Starlight Kid. Like
That's
I would
not.
be all in on Kid beating Giulia.
Yeah, Suzuki or I feel weird that half of the answers are Utami Hayashishita, but they are.
Well, the thing
Like,
is, I mean, she's the franchise player. Like it's not
yeah,
irrational, and she hasn't
like,
had the belt in like a year and a bit, and Julia's
and
reign will
I
probably go a long
very,
time.
I very much believe that like Utami should go down as like the greatest red belt champion of all time by the
Yeah.
time it's done. Like, I think that should be like kind of her lane. Like,
Mm,
obviously, for very fair reasons, people don't like the Okada method. But if there was any Joshi wrestler that was going to be similar to Okada in terms of just dominance, it should be Utami.
yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. So I would say Utami, but
Hmm.
Suzu's the answer. Like for me, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anybody else.
That is fair. The next question then is who can you see being the face of Stardom in 5 years? And this again,
H
Starlight Kid.
A N A N Hananu. Yeah.
Mm.
Hananu
Of
Hananu.
course. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm going with Starlight Kid.
She'll be 23 by then. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing is that like Stardom's changed a lot, so like we can't look at history very easily
Hmm.
uh to like dictate it because Hanan, if Hanan was 5 years older, or like if Hanan was in the exact same spot she's in right now 5 years ago, she would be the next world champion. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but now 5 years from now she'll be 23, and Starlight Kid Azumi will be 25, 26. So if they're assuming that they have these wrestlers for those longer periods of time, yeah, it'll probably be Azumi and Kid, uh, in the main events in 5 years. But if they want to speed up the process, like they sometimes do, I could see Kid and Azumi main eventing in two, like in 2 years,
Yeah,
and
I just
Hanan being 5 year.
when I see face of the company, I think it has to be Kid. She's just so popular with the fans there. Like she's always on the promotional stuff. Chu Pro is always putting her on the covers. Like
Ugh,
she's just
don't
got
get me started about
something
that.
there that the live audience is super into. So I feel like she's the obvious answer. Like everybody loves her. Like anytime somebody is asked like who's the future of women's wrestling, they're like oh Kid, like Starlight Kid. So like I feel like you're gonna have to do that. So when it says face of Stardom, it's like yeah, I mean it has to be Starlight Kid or some like use upon two that hasn't showed up yet because Rossi will drop all.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Also, is like if this girl chick, if girl Chan is good, her, you know what I mean? Like, like it does not take 5 years for him to create and, sh- you know, send to the moon a star. I mean, think
Mhm.
about it. Utami is 4 years and 6 months in,
Yeah,
and she's far and away, like she's Utami.
yeah.
So it
Or
does
if
not take 5 years.
Yeah, or if like God forbid they ever manage to lock down Fuwa-chan, like that's just it.
Oh yeah,
There, she's
that's not happening
she's
though.
winning
But yeah,
everything. But yeah, she'd win everything. Um, Next question then is who should replace Himeka in DDM? Lady C, definitely.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, Ueda would be interesting, but I feel like Lady C is just kind of there,
yeah.
for a reason. And it's like I think the funny thing is that it's like they made it like it feels too clear, right?
Mm,
Like, cause like at some point it was like, oh well, my Hime really likes Lady C, and DDM is just okay with it. But now it's like they're hanging out together, like they've given up on like pretending like they ain't close friends, including my Sakurai and Lady C who argued over Star Wars on Twitter. Like
yeah.
they are clearly, what I mean, like it's not even like a forbidden thing anymore. It just feels like Lady C is closer friends with DDM than she is with Queen's Quest. So that would make sense. But I don't think Himeka can get replaced if you want the real, like the uh, philosophical answer. Because I think Himeka was a very specific wrestler who had a very nobody fucking cares. Lady C.
Okay, all right. Who starts the next new faction? Either somebody who isn't signed yet, or Starlight Kid breaks away from Oedo Tai and
Yeah, I
does
was
her
actually
own
gonna,
thing.
what I think would be interesting,
What?
but I doubt they do it before either of them win the belts. Azumi and Kid uh, leading a faction together,
Oh yeah,
like them
that'd be
both
really
breaking
fun.
away and becoming the co-heads of a faction.
Mm.
That was my idea. It was like, oh well, Azumi and Kid probably could you know break away from their groups and start something new, and I think that'd be interesting. But
Or Hazuki
yeah,
actually. Hazuki might. I feel like they will eventually want to push
yeah.
her, and for some reason nowadays they only seem to be able to push you if you lead your own faction. So
Which I hate. Let me
yeah,
preface that. I fucking despise that. Um, I think that is not necessary whatsoever. But they do that.
yeah.
So,
So maybe
and
Hazuki.
that's also part of why I said the Saya Kamatani thing is because I just can't see her as the leader of a faction. It
Th-
just doesn't
They would do it
fit,
anyway, so I don't think it
and it would
matters.
just not work. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like Shuri makes sense as a leader of a faction.
Yes. Yeah.
Regardless of if we wanted her to leave DDM or not, eh, she has leader qualities. It makes total sense. You know, And Saya doesn't even have like the Mayu leader qualities where it's like it's so funny that people are listening to and obeying Mayu Iwatani, the most like she's Mayu, like it's so jarring that it works. Um it's like Luffy. Like I don't know if anybody's seen One Piece, but like Mayu is like Luffy leading the uh you know, leading the Straw Hats, but Saya doesn't have either of those. I feel like Saya is not like goofy enough to be like this bizarre, why is anybody following her leader like Unagi or Mayu,
Mm.
let's say. But she's also not just like a natural leader like a Shuri or a Giulia. So I think she kind of struggles with that. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but
I have
yeah,
no idea.
I would say Hazuki or Kid and Azumi creating a new faction.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Now, who will Rossi poach next? Um, see, I feel like he's got most everybody that would be available. You know, anybody who was gonna leave TJPW did. Actress has shut down and reset. Like he's gonna get all the Actress people that he would have. So you're either looking at somebody like Endo getting
Mhm.
unhappy with their spot and jumping, or somebody an actress deciding to do wrestling full time. Um, so like Endo seems the most obvious, but yeah, I mean at any point I feel like somebody from actress might say, "Hey, I want to wrestle full time," but like I have no idea. Like there's so many potential prospects in actress that it's hard to nail one of them down. Um, especially because the three obvious ones from actress they really want to succeed. Like Actress did a crowdfunding thing recently, and they did this whole thing of like, oh, here's some of our like important wrestlers, and they had Natsuki, and they had Kuki, and they had Misa Matsui, and they're the three people who I would say Rossi should sign. They're all very charismatic, very great wrestlers. But if Actress is like selling their company based on, hey, these are our three future names, they're probably not going to jump ship. And at that point, then you're getting a bit more abstract with like I don't know, like maybe a Naru or something. But yeah, I think if it's not Endo, then it will eventually be somebody from Actress, but I don't know who exactly it will be.
If we're looking long term, I could see Moran being, like, and this
Yeah,
this is literally
yeah,
like 6 years from now because she's 13.
yes,
Um, but or maybe not even six, but like a while away. Um, if he would like to kill Chigusa Naga's promotion, he could take Maria. Um,
yeah. We'll kill
but
the guy who's promotion with the next answer. Don't worry.
oh yeah. Um, true. But yeah, that's kind of how I see it is, a Maria. I think Arisa Endo is a good shout as somebody who's like, eventually she'll get tired of not being a pillar and she'll leave
Yes.
because maybe not specifically her, but her type. That would just make sense.
Hmm.
She has a lot of potential elsewhere as well. So yeah, I would say I agree with you. I don't know enough about Actress to agree with you on that, but I'm sure you're right. Um, and yeah, someone like Maria maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Now the next question then is, what promotions ace would you like to see make the jump elsewhere? Yeah, I mean it's Takumi Iroha, like anywhere, anywhere. Because even on an indie level, I feel like they don't get the most out of her. Like I feel like Arisa Nakajima does more as the seedling
Yeah,
ace than Takumi does. Nozaki did way more as wave ace than Takumi
yeah.
does. Like even Ice Ribbon's ace, or ace in waiting, I guess, in Asahi, does more than Takumi. Like I feel like the as a promotion, they just get so little out of her that I just want her anywhere else these days, which is tough because at one point she was the focal point of the promotion and it was great, but for some reason they've just completely got away from it, even though she was
I don't know. I think it's
creative.
I think
champ.
it's an injury struggle to some degree.
I don't know.
And I think we talked about this when it happened that like there's definitely a fear that she'll get injured elsewhere.
Mm,
So she just sticks to where is the smartest jump, right? So her getting the name out there in Spain is smarter than wrestling a Wave show, because you're
yeah.
not getting your name out to Wave if you're Marvelous. Like people who know Wave know Marvelous, but people in
Mhm.
Spain might not know you. Same thing with West Coast and stuff like that. I think it's probably way more political and way more like maximizing your minutes with
Yeah.
Takumi, which is a shame because I totally agree. I think she could do so much more, even when she isn't injured. Even
Well, yeah,
regardless of
because
what her
I
state
look
is.
at last year where she was healthy for like 10
Yeah,
months, 11 months, and she wasn't in a single feud that I could name, right? Like they gave her you as a challenger
damn, that's true.
just out of nowhere. They gave her Aoki as a challenger, but that was meant to be a tag match. Like
That was a really good match, though.
like how are you not at the very least doing what Sendai or like Seedling can do where they're like, here's this person, a freelancer or just somebody, and they're gonna challenge you, and you're gonna defend against them, and we're gonna make it seem cool. Like she had two defenses, and one of them was by accident, and the other was them just going, yeah, sure, you. They were playing TEW, and they said, all right, yeah, you versus Takumi. There you go. Just, just cause.
I would book that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like her use last year, even when she was healthy, was so underwhelming that I'm just like, just get get away from there. Like it's a sinking ship, really, honestly. Um,
It's a shame.
but yeah. Now there's a few more questions that you haven't
I
seen.
didn't get to answer that one, boy. What the hell?
Sorry,
He was talking
sorry.
about Takumi for
I
10
thought
minutes.
you were
No,
gonna
you're
go
good.
with
You're
her
good.
as well, but maybe not.
No. Uh, it's a good answer, obviously. Um, I would love. See, the thing is I don't want to see them make the jump necessarily. Because like I feel like a lot of aces are aces for a reason, and it's because they
Hmm.
are cared for. Uh, but I would love to see Nozaki more, just everywhere. When she gets back from injury, as a member of the Nozaki Respect Army, um, I think that just like having her pop up in fucking Stardom and beat the shit out of Starlight Kid is literally my Starlight Kid dream match.
Of
Like I
course.
don't like you know what I mean like just shit like that. Like I think Wave is great, and I'm a big Wave fan, as everybody knows. But I think that would be really dope if I don't know they could kind of work with people more, I guess. And
Yeah.
they do like they are this focal point, right? But they have a good like central unit with Hirota and Nozaki and uh, Miyazaki and Kohaku that and Oka. Yeah. That I think that they could really use to like kind of I don't know, spread their seeds more. And I know it sounds
All
weird,
right.
but I would love to see Nozaki around everywhere.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Nozaki's a good one. Um, so we have a few questions that you haven't seen, because I asked them in Discord. Um,
Oh, I have one from widescreen
oh yeah.
because this was after I
So
sent them to
I
you.
was gonna pair this in with this one actually. So
Okay.
Hart asked, this is a two-parter. It's what US wrestlers do you guys want to see in Stardom? And we've kind of answered that. But it said, do you think Stardom has any push to start moving on that with
No,
TJPW and Marvelous bringing so many names over? And
not even a little
Widescreen asked about Stardom kind of recruiting straight out of college a lot more,
bit.
like they did with Risa. And I would say that the race for talent is on big time because you can't just sign up everybody now. Like that's not gonna happen as frequently as it used to. Um,
Yeah.
TJPW is gonna become a real problem at the rate that they're you know producing talent. And much like New Japan eventually had to do, you can only suck up so much talent in Japan before you have to look elsewhere, because New Japan at a certain point was like, oh shit, we need like international names, which is why Will Ospreay got brought in and pushed, and Zack Sabre Jr. is brought in and pushed, and guys like that. So like Stardom definitely needs to get on it and recruiting as much as they can, because with them,
Yeah.
they want to keep growing, and to keep growing, you need to keep making stars, and you also need to keep producing fresh big matches with how many pay-per-views they do, and that does require recruiting the college wrestlers like Risa Fella, recruiting internationally like with Mariah May. So I think they have to really start looking at all avenues of bringing talent in if they want to keep growing as they are. Because otherwise you're going to fall behind. And TJW won't
Yes.
think twice about lapping the field if the opportunity comes.
I think the thing with internationals is they don't stay.
Yeah.
There are no international lifers. I mean? Like the
Mm,
only one New Japan has, and this is I'm knocking on wood because he might leave fucking in a couple years, is Zack Sabre Jr.
yeah.
He's the only person who has learned Japanese, has stayed there throughout the COVID, throughout everything, is insistent that he is like New Japan through and through. He's the only one. Like Will is leaving. Like
Yeah.
he's making jokes about it. It's like, "Ooh, well, I'm gonna enjoy this last year." Maybe he doesn't leave, but he's going to leave. You know what I mean? Like everybody leaves
Yeah.
when they are, international. Like that's kind of the case. So I understand wanting to
But I
focus
would counter
on
that
this.
with in women's wrestling, I think there's a lot more of them that would be willing to make the move to make a living because it's a
Yes.
lot harder to do that in America and the UK. You're kind of hoping that you get signed by one of the big two. Um,
Yeah.
but there might be more. You might get somebody more like a Debbie Malenko who's willing to move to Japan to make a living doing wrestling. So I would say I don't know this for sure, but there might be a certain contingent of women's wrestlers who would happily move to Japan if they were offered a full-time deal because
Yeah.
then you're getting to wrestle full-time and make your living.
I can't believe they fucked up with Jamie Hayter. Like, I'm gonna be real. I know this
Yeah.
is not the point, but like,
I don't blame
of
them for that
Jamie and
one.
B,
Like there was so many visa issues, I believe, with Hater
yeah.
that just was chaos.
But
So
it's just fucked when you think about it. That's
yeah.
like, if and this is purely speculative, but if they had the choice between Jamie Hayter and B Priestley, not only I think everybody kind of agrees Jamie Hayter's better in ring, but also Jamie Hayter was realistically going to stay longer than B was.
Yes.
And that's frustrating. But I think it does come down to B had a longer term visa before COVID started, and then it was easier for her to stay, and then she eventually left, and it was whatever. But I I, I agree. I get what you're trying to say. That like someone like Mariah May isn't necessarily inclined to go to fucking Ring of Honor. You know, what I mean, like over staying in Stardom or
Mhm.
go to WWE or anything, unless she's getting offered loads of money, uh, which WWE doesn't really do that for women. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, So, I get what you're saying, but I do think I understand why it's like, okay, we're gonna focus on Japan way more when it comes to signing talent because they are just longer term. You know, just that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I agree, they definitely need to get serious about it quick
Yes.
because they can't bring over Mariah May and Zaya Brookside for a few weeks and think that's enough. And
Mm.
I think Mariah May's great, but that's just not the rate that the rate that the scene is going at right now.
Yeah, no, very, very true. Very much so. Especially with how many pay-per-views you do. If you want to keep doing
Yes.
pay-per-views and stacking them, you're gonna have to keep bringing people in and getting them over. Um,
But
I-
also the university thing was dope. I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
100%.
am interested in
Like
that because
they should definitely get in on that because that'll.
yeah.
Those are people who are dedicated to wrestling at that point. Like, so
Oh, 100%.
you're gonna get them long term.
I
Um,
mean, who was it? Nashimura. She got her ass beat by all of Queen's Quest and said thank you at one of
yeah,
her college shows. So yeah, I think that's who Wise Queen was talking about was Risa Fella and Nashimura
mm,
are the two big ones who feel like they are like made for this.
yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
As for what US wrestlers would I want to see in Stardom, I mean, we've kind of gone over them a little bit, but I mean,
yeah.
personally, I would love to see people like Promise Braxton, Danny B, I think is great, Gigi Ray, um, what's her name now? It's escaping me. Bring Rebel Kell back, obviously, um,
Oh yeah, shout out Rebel.
and Kanji and kind of people like that. So, but yeah, I think just any of that Texas crew, like that Texas indie scene is so good that like just get as many of them as you can. Um, let's see. What do you regard as the best finishing and move in Stardom, and likewise, which is the worst? I mean,
Ooh,
the
I
best one,
love moves.
the best one is obviously the Northern Lights bomb. Like that to me is one of the best
That's a
finishers.
cop out. Come on. I mean, it
But
is. You're
it's
right.
one of the best
And
finishers
she
ever.
hits it.
Yeah.
She hits it.
Like it's such
But
a genius move because the impact looks sickening, but you have so much room to like tuck the person's head that it's probably a very safe move that looks amazing. So
devastating.
like to me, you just can't get a better finisher than that. So I would go with the Northern Lights bomb as the best finishing move, and the worst is I feel like there's a few contenders. Maybe I think is it Rena that does like a gory bomb, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
I
she does the
guess,
gory.
like I guess, but
Hina does the big ending.
yeah. I think my Sakurai's is pretty mid, the elbow drop, just because the elbow drop is a
Is that her
very
finish?
yeah, isn't it? She does the second rope elbow as a finish.
She does something else. Like I know it's the my pan roll and the
Oh
elbow drop,
yeah,
but there's
yeah.
one other move.
I don't know. There's so many finishers, right? Like I could say the Violet
Yeah.
shooting because the Violet shooting always looks terrible. but like how many people has
That
Tam pinned with it lately? Like I don't know.
I bring that up so often that like Kagetsu like showed up and just did like stole Tam's finish and did it infinitely
Yes.
better. And I was like, bro, you can't
Yeah.
you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Um
So like does the violet shooting count? Because if so, that. And the same if my Sakurai's elbow drop counts, then that one. Because like the elbow drop is a weird move where it's either amazing or it's like whatever. And my
yeah,
Sakurai's
the
leans
Mayas
more
isn't that
towards
great.
whatever.
Um there's gotta be one that I'm thinking of.
You're probably going in with Amis, are you? You really like Amis.
Like a Thunderbolt is a
Yeah.
banger. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from the pile drivers because it's like, oh well, obviously the happily ever after is the best because it's a tombstone. It
Yeah.
looks cool, right?
You know,
And I mean, same with the like a Thunderbolt.
yeah.
Uh,
You know who's are
you
kind
know
of
what I will say?
disappointing?
Go ahead.
I feel like
Hmm.
Mariah's are kind of meh. Like I feel like the
Oh
Miramari shock isn't like that great of a move.
yes,
And obviously Utami's fucking
that's what I was gonna
spinny
say.
razor's
Is we
edge.
bring this up every time that the hijack bomb needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's funny because like I feel like the power wrestlers either have insanely good finishes.
Hmm.
Like I love the Michinoku driver from Micah.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense and it's like very meaningful and it great move. Fucking concussion bomb is concussion bomb. But then there is the Miramari shock
Yeah.
and there is the hijack bomb.
And the Miramari.
You know, like or yeah, the Miramari
Both of Mariah's finishers are
which
pretty
are
pretty
pretty mid.
meh, yeah.
As for the best, I'm gonna go with like one of my favorite moves, and it's the butterfly square and compass from Tekla.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
'Cause that's a bit like, cause obviously, I love a good tombstone and I love a good pile driver, but like I feel like that I just it's my type of move, right? And the only people who have ever used it other than Tekla have been abusers. So I'm very happy somebody's using it now.
Valid.
Because I forgot Velveteen Dream used to use it too. And I was like,
Yeah.
this mother, why does nobody good use this move?
Thank
But
you.
now it's Tekla.
Yeah, thank you,
So
Tekla, for saving us.
yeah, shout out to Tekla.
Um, I think that's it. That is all of the actual questions. Scott did ask, why would Aja Kong versus Mayu Iwatani be the greatest match in the history of our sport? But I mean, listen, it's yeah, obviously. Um,
They're a match made in heaven.
yeah, and why Heart Editing did say, who do you hope Unagi faces at West Coast Pro? And the obvious answer is Chigusa Nagayo. And that's it. That's it. We're done. Um,
Oh wait, no, there was one more.
really?
It was to me, and it was Dylan. If if you had to banish either Alex or Mayu Iwatani, who would you pick? Um, sorry, bud.
Yeah, that's one I don't. I mean, I would pick Mayu over myself as well. So that's
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah.
all right. So that was the Q&A. That was the content
Ooh,
we need. Because yeah, nothing really happened this past week in Stardom. The Stardom showcase looked pretty good, but it didn't air. So like, there's not much we can do there. Um,
yeah.
there's a few interesting bits, I guess, for us as far as like stuff that's gonna go forward, and that is at Tam after the what's gonna happen to Kozen match. Nothing happened. Spoiler. Tam was like, "Hey,
Drama.
Waka, I think you did great here. I really want you to win before I kick you out, which is a deadline that I set, by the way. Um, so I really don't want to kick you out. So I'm gonna help you beat Nanai. So the Waka versus Nanai match at New Blood Premium is now Tam and Waka versus Nanai and X. So that Tam can either get the win for Waka or Waka can pin X, who's gonna be a very easy to pin person. So
Tam is such a fucking capitalist. I'm not elaborating.
okay. All right. Sure. The other important bit for us is that Hazuki once again pinned Saya Kamatani to win the Kobe beef. So I'm sorry, Dylan, but Hazuki is getting Firebird splashed and losing this weekend. Um,
Yeah, I want to scream. No, you know what the best thing about that is?
what?
Is that they went on a long tirade on Twitter arguing over the merits of a Frankensteiner versus a Hurricane Rana,
Oh,
and I never felt prouder
somebody
of two of
call
my favorite
Chris
wrestlers.
Hero. Get him in here.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about that in Discord because I think Spanner was like, "It's Chris Hero and Dylan. Those are the two
Yeah.
who get worked up over this
Yeah.
type of shit."
Chris Hero is like so chill. I was looking. I was watching some like Peak Mystico yesterday because I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
people like love this dude. It was great. Um, and when I would search up like Mystico and his opponent, you would have Chris Hero talking about it, and I was like, this guy gets it. Like you just know he was a day one subscriber to like Pure Wrestle Dream, and like
Oh, 100%.
he definitely had access to the AJW Classics Google Drive. Like this man, Chris Hero, is so great. Like I love him. He's just a student of
He doesn't still work at WWE, does he?
no, he's just
Does
like
he have his own
doing
school
nothing.
now?
I don't know what he
Or
does
no? I
anymore.
don't know.
He doesn't.
Because I feel like if there's any person in America that you would want to learn wrestling from, it's Chris Hero.
Yes.
Like just because his brain is 7 million times the size of everybody
Yeah.
else's, because it just has every wrestling match fucking ever
hmm
like in it, and I'm just like, it's incredible.
Imagine tape
I've
study.
watched like a Twitch stream of his.
Really?
Yeah, I've watched like a Twitch stream of his, and he just like gets it, man.
Mm.
He just does. That dude. I know this is a really random tangent, but like there are few wrestlers who like should have been literally the champion of the universe a million times over, more than ironically Chris Hero and Eddie Kingston.
Mm.
Uh, if that's a subject for another day.
Okay. Yeah, no, Chris Heroes, imagine like I was gonna say tape study with this guy. Like you'd be training and he'd be like, all right, I want you to watch Harley Saito versus Shinobu Kandori and Mystico versus Negro Casas, hair versus mask, and you would go and do it. And like that's what he would recommend you to
You would
watch.
become a better person
Yeah,
because of it.
he would unironically recommend you those kind of matches if you were training under him because like he knows that's the good shit, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
I love Chris Hero. Like, I feel like I don't know if this is an actual thing or if I like dreamed this. You used to be able to see other people that were accessing Google Drives with you.
Yeah, you used to be
Yeah,
able to,
because
but
but
now I think it's
I vividly
an
remember.
option.
I think I bought like a random Joshi show, and when I clicked on that, Chris Hero was there. Like his email was there. Like I'm 90% sure Chris Hero and I bought the same like 1994 LLPW show. Like no
That's
word of a
wonderful.
joke. I'm
I
99%
believe it
sure that
though.
happened. Chris Hero, if
I
you're
totally
out
believe it
there,
though.
please tell me. I need to know. Did you buy random mid 90s JWP or LLPW at any point? Because I'm pretty sure we had access to the same Google Drive.
Honestly, there are some wrestlers like that. Like same with Drew Gulak. I remember one day, again on Twitch, he was like just like streaming. He's like, okay, it's Joshi night, guys, and he has picked out like some of the most fucking random Joshi matches.
Yeah.
Then he obviously eventually went to Mako versus Hokuto, which is
Oh,
a
hell
bit
yeah.
less niche. But he was just like, oh, like he's like, do you see this? Do you see this? This is how you're supposed to do. I was like, he gets it. Like some of these wrestlers just get it, and shout out to them. I love the nerds of pro wrestling, honestly.
They're good
Like
peeps.
they are the most, like I just appreciate the way they look
Yeah,
at it. But that's enough uh random independent dudes that we want to give credit to.
indeed. Um, so we have one show to preview, and that show just happens to be a big pay-per-view. This is
Woo.
Stardom Triangle Derby Championship Battle in the Yoyogi National Stadium,
Oh, it's
second
early too.
gymnasium. This is on the 4th of March, and yeah, it starts at 3 no, it starts at 4 PM.
320.
Yeah, the pre-show
Yeah, and then
starts at
yeah.
like 3:20. Tickets look to be moving quite all right. Most of the sections are sold out or limited, so that's kind of nice if you like a good atmosphere. The pre-show matches, which I don't know if they're getting shown anymore. I don't even know if they still show them. Um, is Miwa Masaki versus Hina versus Rina, which I'm pretty sure you said would be Hina pinning Rina because they're
Yes.
running this back next week at Corkin, and they're gonna have Rina pin Hina.
Yes. Yes,
Yes. All
correct.
right. And the match after that is Utami Hayashishita and Lady C versus Chairman Ram and Maika Ozaki. You probably would Utami pin Ram or something and send the Rebel Enemy people packing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a shame of, not a shame, but just like they leave it on a pre-show.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it gets them a booking, which is good.
Yeah,
Then our first match of the show is Maika, Mariah May, and Waka Tsukiyama. No, that's not the team. Mina,
that's not what that
Mina
is.
Shirakawa, Mariah May, and Waka Tsukiyama versus Maika, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla, and that's a DDM win because
Yeah.
Waka And we have Mayu Iwatani, Koguma, Hanan, Saida, and Momo Kogo versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, Ruaka, and Fukigen Death. And I don't know, stars maybe, possibly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
um,
Yeah, I don't know.
then we have the Triangle Derby semi-finals. The first semi-final is the 7-Up team of Nanai Takahashi, Yu, and Yuna Mizumori versus Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi of Prominence. So I'd maybe go with 7-Up because they're pretty dominant, and having the champions lose in the final to then presumably defend the belts against whoever beat them would be kind of strange. So 7-Up winning here.
Yeah, I feel like 7 Up could win here so that Prominence can defend against the winners and 7 Up
Yeah,
if they are holding the belts past Yokohama.
which they're not.
Well, who are they? God's Eye. Damn.
Yeah. The other semifinal then is it's God's Eye, Shirei Mirai and Amisore versus Tam, Natsupoi, and Saki. I'd be very surprised if Cosmic Angels won that one. I feel like
Yeah.
that's fair.
God's Eye is definitely getting their win back from like
Yes.
last week.
Then we have the Triangle Derby final. It's the winner of semifinal one versus the winner of semifinal two, which we have as 7-Up versus God's Eye, which went to a
Yes.
draw in the block play, so they haven't given away who's going to win. I would imagine God's Eye wins
It's God's Eye
with
because 7 Up is busy.
yeah, with presumably Mirai pinning Yuna Mizumori or you.
Yes. Mariah over you would be
Because
interesting, but
if
then it would kind of
see,
lead to something that I don't want to see.
I don't know, because I feel like the more people talk up Tam versus Giulia, the more I'm like, oh, then it's Mirai and Ami challenging for the tag belts.
Yeah,
And
but no, wait, but if God's Eye wins this tournament, they're challenging for the
I don't know if
trios
that's
belts at
at I don't
Yokohama.
know if that's going to be at Yokohama now. I'm not fully sure because you can't
What else?
get
Oh, they have the Cinderella final still to go.
yeah because
Yokohama's a whiles away.
like I don't know how you get everybody on the card if the tag belts, the trios belts, the high speed belt, and the top two belts are all being defended, right? And if Cosmic Angels wins the tournament, then that means Melt here definitely aren't challenging 7-Up. And that's kind of a different direction. But also, Tam can't win this tournament because she's meant to be facing Giulia, right?
Man, I don't want to think about Tam versus
Yeah.
Julia. I get it. I get that that's the most likely. I don't want to think
And
about it right now.
actually, I don't think we said this, but that Dave Meltzer did report that the plan for Yokohama Arena is a double main event. The first of which is Giulia versus Tam, and the other is Mayu Iwatani versus Mercedes Money, which is I'm screaming like inside. I am melting down fully.
You know how we said that Mercedes should never main event a show?
Yeah.
If if they run Tam versus Julia,
Stop it.
I will personally make a
Stop it.
campaign.
Stop it. I mean, I'd go for it because Mayu deserves it, but I don't know. But yeah, that's the report, and it seems like the closer we get, the more likely Tam versus Julia is. So
Yeah.
yeah, especially with Tam talking about like searching for a successor, I'm like, oh, this is your gold watch. Like this is the all right. Um,
Also, none of God's Eye is going to be in the Cinderella final
yeah,
or anywhere near it because I feel like Mariah gets bumped out
yeah,
either by an upset with Hanan or getting beat by Mina in like the second round. Uh, so they probably challenge uh, Prominence at the Cinderella final
yeah.
since Prominence is also not in it, and everybody else is cool. Yeah, I say God's Eye wins the tournament,
All right.
and yeah, hmm,
Hmm.
interesting.
We'll have to wait and see. Because maybe 7-Up will, or maybe the Prominence will retain against them and defend against somebody else at the Yokohama, but we'll have to wait and see how that
Yeah,
pans out. But yeah, we have God's Eye winning here because it feels like they were locked in for trio success very early on and never got it.
and
So
they just never did.
it's their
Yeah,
time now.
that's
Um,
why Mariah feels so strange when it comes to belts.
yes, yeah,
Is because she didn't get that artist reign that everybody gets in her
yeah,
position.
that's true. Um, the next match on the card then is a special singles match. It's Himeka versus Chihiro Hashimoto, and I expect Chihiro to toss Himeka around with a very similar ease that she tossed Maika around. Or not Maika, Mirai. But it might just be a little bit closer than the Mirai match. but she's like Hashimoto
Yeah.
is still gonna win pretty defiantly.
Yeah, 100%. I Imma be real, Hashimoto's render is staring into my soul,
Yes.
and I it's but yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I feel like I don't know, I feel like this retirement road with Himeka is either gonna be, like, huge and she's gonna deliver, like, the best matches of her career, or she's gonna be
Oh,
like, "I
she's
am
she's
dying,
going
please
all out
let
for
me."
this, though, no doubt. Like, she
100%.
requested this
I
one, you know? Like, if she's requesting them,
yeah,
I feel like she'll go all out in them.
I hope this one's
Yeah,
good. I think it'll be
it
good.
should be.
It's gonna be a shame when the best wrestler of the year is retired.
Yeah.
Like, cause she's probably like spreadsheet wise, she has these matches lined up that are going to be like high, high tier,
Yes,
high quality.
definitely.
Like even if it's just from an emotional level, it's like these are she's going to destroy the rest of my spreadsheet, and I'm just gonna be really sad for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I imagine. The next match on the show then is a high-speed championship match. It is Azumi versus Starlight Kid. I mean, Azumi's gonna
Kid needs to get the fuck
well,
out.
yeah, I mean, Azumi's gonna win, and this will be Kid's presumably her last high-speed championship match because she's kind of beyond the
Yeah.
division, but it feels like they called her back for one last kind
She
of
said she said that
yeah.
in the what's it called, the presser, where she's like, "I thought I graduated, but I guess Azumi really wants to defend against me. I don't know,
Mm.
it's the last high speed match of the two of us." Uh,
'Cause Azumi is
yeah,
clearly, like,
I'm
beyond this division at this point, like, she's conquered it, you know what I mean? Like, you can't
yes.
go back to her as high speed champion, it would just be so odd, it's such a backward step. Um,
I mean, if she's wrestling for another 15 years, maybe 14 years from now she wins it.
possibly,
It's like
yeah.
a fun little thing. But yeah, uh, it'll be interesting to see what Azumi like somebody asked about the high speed belt after Azumi. I'm more interested in Azumi after the high speed belt because like I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck she does for a
nothing.
while. Like outside of be kids other, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it
Yeah,
because she has been the high speed division and the high speed division has been her. So it's gonna be interesting. She's obviously getting the record. She should face Taya, but she's not going
of
to.
course not.
Um, yeah, I mean, I the question is does this match get the amount of fanfare that it got last time,
Hmm.
and is it
See,
better than it was
the
last time?
last time is because it got was it, like, 27 minutes or something last time? Am I crazy? Did it go that long?
No, what? It was like
What? Are
12.
you sure?
I'm
Oh,
positive.
we're gonna have to find this out. I'm pretty sure it went long. 'Cause, you know, like, there's a lot of people.
There's no way I rewatched that.
I don't know, honestly. Let's see, matches.
It went 17. That went
Seven.
17?
Okay, so
That's
I
crazy.
had
I did not remember it
I
being
had the
17.
7 right. I knew it was something with a 7. Um, yeah, I could see it getting a similar amount of time, so it might get
It'd probably go like 12 to 15, I would say.
yeah, maybe. So, it might get a similar amount of fanfare. Um, but well, yeah, it definitely will, actually, yeah. I don't know if it will get, like, the cage match hype that it did last time, but it will definitely get some buzz, I think.
Do you think it'll be better?
No. I feel like these are 2 who get more egregious. That's a bad word, I guess, but every time
They get more pretty about it.
yeah, like,
That's
every
kind
time
of
they wrestle, it gets more away from Taoism and more Osprey Ricochetism a little bit, and I feel like
I could
they're
see
gonna
that.
go full into that aspect of it, I imagine, for their, like, last big blow off. So I could see some of the stuff being a little bit, like, eye rolly, whereas last time it was a lot
Which
more
you know
natural.
what I will say, and this is again off topic. I rewatched that Osprey Ricochet match. It wasn't good, but it was like so not offensive in terms of like I was just like, oh yeah, that okay. There are way worse. There are way faker things in wrestling. I don't know why I needed to mention that, but I just thought I would. But yeah, I think it could. I can see it having an inverse relationship because the last match I thought was a bit overrated, even though I did really like it. Uh, I think this match might get a little bit less credit, but it might be better.
Yeah,
But it does definitely depend on what they deliver because I mean they'll have less time inherently because they have matches above it that are going to take up a lot more time. Uh, Like I was saying, there are 2 matches above it, and they both are going to take their time, I
It's week
imagine.
3.
Whereas
They might put the
there's
Derby final as well.
yeah, exactly. They probably will put the
Yeah.
Derby final actually. Um, so there's gonna be 3 matches above it, and they're all gonna take their time compared to last year. They had Natsupo and Saya
Mm,
above it, which I think only went 20. Like I think it was relatively the same length. I'm gonna check that out right now actually. Yeah, 121. So they definitely are not getting the 17. I think that's important
yeah.
to note. So I think they might not have enough time to get too pretty with it. So I think this might be better. I think there are reasons for it to be better, but I don't know if it will be. Uh,
I
it'll probably get less fanfare and be a bit better. That's my
All
prediction.
right. Fair enough. Fair enough. The next match on the card is the Wonder of Stardom Championship match. It is Saya Kamatani defending against Hazuki. Hazuki is beating
There'll
Saya.
also be cheering.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
one more
I
thing
mean,
that we
pretty
also
much
didn't
all the
put
shows have
take
that
into
now,
account.
but it's so we've kind of just got used to it.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that this match, Azumi versus
Oh
Kid, is gonna have
yes,
cheering and not.
yes, that would be great.
So like, I think Kid's entire thing is way better with
Mm,
cheering. Like it's just not as offensive. Still don't like her, but it's just not as offensive. So I imagine it'll be. That's also a reason why it'll be a bit better. Maybe.
yeah. Um. Anyway, yes. The next match, Kamatani and Hazuki. So Hazuki's beaten her twice now in the lead up to this, so she's getting Firebird splashed.
I want to
Yeah,
die.
she's 100% getting hit with a Firebird splash and losing. Um,
It's wild that they couldn't. Why does Mina exist, man? Like I know. I like Mina. She's cool. But like, dude, I have been waiting years for
well,
this.
she shouldn't have retired. I don't know. Like, what do you want from them?
She wouldn't have won the wipe belt
She
from then.
definitely would have. They were desperate.
Giulia was in her
They were
way.
desperate.
Yeah, at some point they
Yeah.
were very desperate.
Um,
But
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot to live up to here because I loved their GP match a lot, as
they
I
had a
have
really
told
great
everybody who
GP
will
match.
listen. Like, it was one of my top 3, I think, last year, maybe top 4. Um,
Mhm.
so they have a lot to live up to. I'm not sure they can hit that mark with how Saya has been very iffy lately, but I feel like if anybody's going to get the best out of her, it would be Hazuki, obviously. Um,
Yeah. I mean, Hazuki also in like world championship matches is another animal.
yes. Well,
Um,
I don't know, because she had that
the only
Utami
bad
one.
one she's had was that was great.
Was it?
What are
I
you
don't know.
talking
I
about?
can't remember. I didn't
Yes,
think it was that
it
amazing.
was actively really really
All right.
good in my
Okay.
opinion. Because I think people were worried about Hazuki because they were like, ah, she just came back. I don't know. Like the Kokomo match wasn't great.
Mm,
She's a bit rusty. Let's see. She isn't running as fast. She isn't as aggressive. I don't know how she'll do. And then she had the Great Tommy
yes.
match. The only World Championship match that wasn't great was against B Priestley. It's the
Wow.
only one. Every other one that I've seen, and I've seen all of them,
Wait,
have
she
been
challenged
actively
B?
really really good. She challenged B. It was 9 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was middle. It was right after Kagetsu lost it.
Oh, I don't remember that
I think
at
Hazuki was
all.
her first defense. I think Hazuki was her first or second defense, yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I remember Hazuki.
You don't want to
All right.
remember,
Yeah. Was it on like one
as
of
far as I
those
remember.
midsummer shows that they called?
It might have been okay, so B won it during
Yeah.
Golden Week. So it was like yeah, it was like a month after that. They also had that really weird uh Cinderella match
Mm.
and like where it looked like Hazuki was not supposed to lose, but she
Oh,
lost and she got really upset about
dear.
it. Um Yeah, it was a week after Golden
All
Week.
right. Okay.
So yeah, it was literally like a week after she won the belt.
Fair play. Um.
Oh, it was underneath Arisa defeating Momo. That's why I remember
Stardom
something.
Gold May. Oh, that was a
Yeah.
badass show. I love that show. It's one of my favorite ones.
Oh, and TCS won. That's a
Hmm. It's
crazy.
a great show.
Yo, Tony Storm had one of her only good
With
matches in the like.
Kagetsu, wasn't it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember
yeah.
that show vividly because it's so great.
This is a
Yeah.
crazy show. Yeah, but yeah, B Priestley versus Uzuki's the only match that's not rated on Cage Match. If that tells you
Oh
anything.
God. Okay.
Uh,
Um. Right. So yeah, Hazuki losing here to Saya. Saya waiting
unfortunately,
for Mina to beat her. I think that's the obvious choice
real
there.
buster.
Yeah.
Hazuki, man, this is gonna be like the what
Yes.
eighth
Look,
8th challenge.
we knew this would happen. It's gonna take time. She has to
Yeah,
regain that trust, build herself back into the plans. You know, it is what it is.
she's so good.
I know, I know. Um, the main event then, potentially, probably not, is the World of Stardom Championship match. It is Giulia defending against Maya Yukihi. Imagine ever thinking Maya Yukihi would be challenging for the red belt. That is absurd. Um,
Yeah.
this is, I don't know what this is gonna be because their first match was, and Giulia was so different, and it went very long. So now that Giulia is more accustomed to that, I don't know if they're gonna try and go like all out 30-minute draw style, or if they're just gonna have Giulia beat the shit out of Maya, Maya beats the shit out of Giulia, and Giulia wins and overcomes it. You know, um, so like there's a lot of questions here. I feel like there's not a 0% chance this goes to a draw because Yuki doesn't lose. Like she doesn't take many losses at all.
Yeah.
Um, and it feels like they are primed for that 30-minute draw, which the whole story of it is Giulia's like, I'm gonna beat you so bad you never come back. So Giulia kind of has to win, right? Like
Yeah,
that's been the layout. Giulia
and
said
also like
there can only be
her
one alpha. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you and make you leave.
her first 2 matches being against Suzu and Maya feel like she's trying to, like, kill the past.
Mm.
You know, like, that's kinda like the story is that it's like she's overcoming, I mean, I'm looking at the cage match right now, she's never beaten Maya. Uh, that went 27 minutes, that's crazy. Um, like, I imagine that's kinda like the bit, so I imagine like, Julia has to win. Uh, I don't really wanna see a 30-minute Julia match right now. Um, so I hope
Oh,
she
neither do
wins.
I. Yeah.
Like, the Susan match was good, but it did put that fear of the devil in me. Um, and by the devil, I mean of Julia having 2021 big matches and not 2022 big matches. Uh, so I hope this is a 2022 big match and not a 2021 big match, if that makes sense.
Yes, that is valid. Well, I don't know.
Let's
I
wait and see.
like
But
these are two great wrestlers, but I feel like
yes.
there's a chance that they just underdeliver. But I don't know. I feel like we maybe need to trust Julia a little bit more because she was balling towards the end of last year.
Wait, the DDM Prominence match went to a no contest? That's crazy. How do you have a hardcore match go to a no contest?
I don't know. Didn't Stardom do that before with Oedo Tai?
They do that
Yeah,
frequently.
yeah. I don't know.
Like, why do they do that?
I don't know, man. Why the hell not? Yeah, this one's interesting. I would love to
100%.
watch this one unspoiled because I genuinely like Mayuki isn't gonna win, but I don't know if she loses either. So I think that's really interesting. Um, and also I feel like they might have to set up a next challenger for Giulia because they do like to have a red belt match on the Cinderella finals, but that's the week before Yokohama, so maybe not. I don't
That
know.
is really soon. Because I was thinking, I was like, damn, there's 2 big shows there's 2 big shows.
Yeah.
Uh, like or there's, I guess, 1 big show after this one before Yokohama, and I was like, that Yokohama feels so soon, but it is. It's just they're all close together.
Yeah.
Um, fuck, I don't know. I mean, Julia wins, but once again, are we gonna have to see Tam?
Maybe. Possibly. I think so.
You know what? You know what? You know what's exactly the Stardom meta for this show?
What?
Is for, uh, the Cinderella to not happen yet, obviously, uh, Julia and Maya to have a stinker, and then after I'm just like, "Man, why did I stay up for this?" Tam Nakano walks out, and I just scream. That is the meta. That is
Yes.
what they do,
Yes.
is like, this match is going to be bad, and then Tam Nakano's gonna walk out and make it worse. Like, that's always what happens.
Well,
I
maybe.
hope that's not what happens.
Uh,
Let me put it like that.
it might be what happens.
It's
Well,
possible.
no, they're not gonna have a stinker. I don't believe Mayuki can do that. But yeah, that's the pay-per-view. I mean, I feel like it has the chance to be such an amazing show. Like 7 Up and Prominence alone. Like
Yeah.
holy shit. Hashimoto and Himeka, the best version of that is amazing. Kid and Azumi should deliver in some form. Azuki has been showing signs of the old woman who wanted to murder Arisa Hoshiki against Saya, so
Yeah.
that might be amazing. And Giulia and Maya Yukihi is just such an X factor there. Like, I have no clue what it could be, and I'm very interested to find out. Um, but
Which match are you the most excited for? Maya and Giulia, I imagine.
probably Mirai and Hashimoto. Or not, Jesus.
That's not what the match is happening.
Himeka and Hashimoto. Himeka and Hashimoto. Hashimoto is so fantastic in Stardom because she has like a direction and it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm very into her stuff. That is that. We will be back next week
I'm
to.
I personally, I am most excited for Hazuki and Saya
Sorry to.
because
Sorry.
I know it's we've been going long Q and
It's
A segment. I know,
yeah.
but yeah, dude, I don't care. I know Hazuki's losing, but she gets a Hazuki stroll and it's a late kick out. I'm gonna be fucking dying in my chair. I'm going to be going fucking insane. I'm excited. I'm excited for the show.
I am too.
Now we can close the show.
It is the good stuff. Anyway, yes, we'll be back next week to review this show and preview the 5 or 6 shows coming up in the week after that. And I'm not lying. There's a 3-day weekend and then 2 midweek shows. So
When does the Oh my god, the Cinderella doesn't start until the 26th.
yeah,
Fuck, dude.
yeah, we're in for a fun time. But with that, it's time to close the show. If you want to stand in my
Oh,
stand,
the glass. They're going to the Kyoto. Sorry.
Alright. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Yo.